Outside, Yang Jinchen leaned against a telegraph pole, with Yang Zhao standing in front of him. Both of them were silent. Chen Mingsheng came over, and Yang Zhao turned around and whispered to him, "Excuse me." As she passed Chen Mingsheng, he saw her pull out a box of cigarettes from her pocket. He glanced away indifferently. Yang Jinchen watched him maliciously. Chen Mingsheng also took out a cigarette and put it in his mouth. The cold night wind was blowing, and the thin smoke didn't even have a chance to rise before it disappeared. Yang Jinchen looked at Chen Mingsheng and said coldly, "Are you here to repay the money?" Chen Mingsheng squinted his eyes through the smoke and didn't say a word. Yang Jinchen thought back to that day when Chen Mingsheng had the same look in his eyes. He suddenly became angry, and with both hands he shoved Chen Mingsheng, who lifted his left hand, grabbed Yang Jinchen's wrist, twisted it with little force, and shoved him back. "Damn!" Yang Jinchen cursed. "Let go of me." Chen Mingsheng had a cigarette in his mouth, and his crutch was also loose. He stood on one leg, his right hand pressing on Yang Jinchen's face, his thumb covering Yang Jinchen's lower eyelid, pulled it down and looked inside. Yang Jinchen struggled violently to free himself from Chen Mingsheng's grip. He rubbed his face and lifted his foot, about to kick towards Chen Mingsheng's left leg. At this moment, Chen Mingsheng suddenly spoke up. He took the cigarette out of his mouth and said indifferently, "You'd better not touch that stuff." Yang Jinchen was taken aback. Chen Mingsheng spoke calmly, but so determined. Yang Jinchen stood frozen, his eyes staring at Chen Mingsheng in surprise. "What stuff? What shouldn't I touch?" Chen Mingsheng lifted his head through the smoke and looked at Yang Jinchen. "Listen to your sister more in the future. Don't make her worry." Yang Jinchen squints his eyes. "Who do you think you are, meddling with my affairs?" His eyes unintentionally flickered to the empty pant leg of Chen Mingsheng, and he sneered as he looked away. Chen Mingsheng looked at the street silently, smoking his cigarette. Yang Jinchen stood there for a while, feeling a little uncertain. He glanced at Chen Mingsheng out of the corner of his eye. The man was leaning against a telegraph pole, completely expressionless. Yang Jinchen asked, "Hey, what did you mean by what you just said?" Chen Mingsheng flicked his cigarette and didn't say anything. The wind blew the ash away, scattering bits on the road. Yang Jinchen didn't know why. Looking at the calm Chen Mingsheng, he became more and more nervous. In desperation, he tried to cover up his insecurity with noise. "I'm asking you, can't you hear? What was that thing you just mentioned?" Chen Mingsheng looked up at him and lightly spit out 2 words, "drugs." Yang Jinchen had thought Chen Mingsheng might have discovered something, but he hadn't expected him to say these 2 words so flatly. His tone, his expression were so casual. It was as if in his eyes, drugs and drinks were the same. Chen Mingsheng looked at Yang Jinchen quietly. The latter's face turned white, his hands and feet twitching with nervousness. He took a drag on his cigarette. In the grand scheme of things, he was simply a child. Yang Jinchen watched the cigarette get shorter. He knew Yang Zhao would be back soon. He was tired of dealing with Chen Mingsheng, but he found himself having to plead with him, Don't go blabbering to my sister." Chen Mingsheng looked at him. Yang Jinchen, somewhat agitated, took a few steps forward and demanded hastily, I didn't do drugs. They tried to give me some, but I didn't touch them." Chen Mingsheng remained silent. Yang Jinchen had already given up hope. He rushed over and grabbed Chen Mingsheng's arm, saying, "I really didn't touch it. Don't talk nonsense to my sister. Do you hear me?" Chen Mingsheng, who had been standing on one leg without holding his crutch, almost fell when Yang Jinchen tugged at him suddenly. He steadied himself by grabbing the telephone pole beside him and moved Yang Jinchen's hand off him. "Do you hear me?" Chen Mingsheng glanced at the red-eyed Yang Jinchen, looked away, and said in a low voice, "I know you didn't touch it." Yang Jinchen stood there, dumbfounded. Finally, he seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, vigorously rubbing his hair. Chen Mingsheng crushed the cigarette, but, exhaling the last puff of smoke, he knew Yang Jinchen hadn't touched drugs. Not today, and not ever before. Who would fear the word drugs like an addict? Yang Zhao came back. She stood in front of Yang Jinchen, who stole a glance at Chen Mingsheng. Seeing him look away, he turned his head to meet Yang Zhao's gaze. "Little Tian, although I have mentioned it before, I think it's necessary to remind you again." Yang Jinchen silently looked at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao said that Liu Yuan is a bad influence, don't hang out with him in the future. At this point, whatever Yang Zhao said was law. Yang Jinchen just wanted to get away from this driver as quickly as possible. He nodded, "Got it." Good, Yang Zhao said. Let's go home. That's it for the lecture. Chen Mingsheng found it amusing from the sidelines. However, given all that had transpired earlier, he wasn't surprised at Zhang Zhao's approach in dealing with the situation. Chen Mingsheng drove Yang Zhao and Yang Jinchen home. Yang Zhao sat in the passenger seat. Along the way, Yang Jinchen glanced at Chen Mingsheng a few times. Seeing him with no intentions of spilling the beans, his heart gradually settled. After calming down a bit, he looked at his sister. At 17 or 18, you're at your most sensitive. He vaguely felt that there was something strange between Yang Zhao and Chen Mingsheng. He couldn't express how he felt, nor was he able to come up with proof because from the moment they got in the car until they got home, they hadn't said a word, not even an exchange of eye contact. When they got home, Yang Zhao asked if Yang Jinchen was hungry. After such a fuss, he was too shaken to eat. He took a bath and went to bed. Yang Zhao sat in the study and continued sorting out examination questions for Yang Jinchen. Only this time, she was somewhat distracted. She recalled the man called Brother Feng and the image of Yang Jinchen sitting alone and sulking on the sofa. Deep down, she pitied Yang Jinchen. He wasn't supposed to be that kind of person. Yang Zhao felt that everyone was the same when they were born, but as they grew up, they all had their own circles of life. She wouldn't badmouth other people's circles. She just felt that Yang Jinchen didn't belong there. He was in pain. Every time she saw Yang Jinchen playing with children like Liu Yuan, Yang Zhao always had this feeling. Yang Jinchen was imprisoning himself. His background was like a shackle, handcuffed to his neck, pulling him down, down, down. Several times, Yang Zhao got up and went to the door of Yang Jinchen's room, but she didn't push the door open. She was anxious and confused, but still didn't know how to talk to Yang Jinchen. After numerous attempts, Yang Zhao heard her phone ring. She picked it up and saw it was Chen Mingsheng. Hello? Hello, are you still awake? Yang Zhao said, I'm not asleep yet. Are you thinking about your brother? Yang Zhao let out a soft hum. She walked to the window, lit a cigarette, and looked outside. What did you say to your brother? Yang Zhao asked quietly. Say what? Chen Mingsheng said, you just let him go to sleep when you got home? Yes. There was silence on both ends for a moment before Yang Zhao said, Chen Mingsheng. Do you have any younger brothers? No. No siblings at all? None. Yang Zhao sighed. Chen Mingsheng said, are you at a loss with him? Yang Zhao readily admitted, I don't know what to do. She took a puff of her cigarette and then asked, do you have a solution? Chen Mingsheng simply threw out a single word, beat him. Yang Zhao remained silent. Chen Mingsheng said, are you pondering? Yang Zhao made a hum, then said, I don't want to hit him now. Then I can't help it anymore. Yang Zhao squatted by the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the quiet city outside the window. Chen Mingsheng. Nothing. Yang Zhao's cigarette was finished. She put out the cigarette but lowered her head and rested her chin on her knees. Tomorrow, Chen Mingsheng started. Will you come tomorrow? Yang Zhao said, yes. Yang Zhao, what's happened? Chen Mingsheng said, I thought you were going to look after your brother. Yang Zhao took a sip of cigarette and said lightly, his business is his business. Your business is your business. After school, I will pick him up. So, what time shall I pick you up tomorrow? Yang Zhao thought for a moment and said, I'll send Zhao Ocean to school in the morning, and I need to check his reference books. Probably at noon. Chen Mingsheng said, okay, I will call you then. After agreeing on the time, Yang Zhao said goodnight to Chen Mingsheng. She hung up the phone and continued to tidy up the test questions until 2 o'clock in the early morning. Unconsciously, she fell asleep on the desk. Yang Jinchen got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. He was half awake and half asleep for the first half of the night, unable to sleep peacefully. As soon as he closed his eyes, he saw the one-legged driver. He recognized at a glance. Today, Liu Yuan took him to skip class, saying that there was something good for him. He thought it would be just like usual, singing songs, playing games, so he followed him out. So when Liu Yuan sneakily showed him that thing, he was really scared. Yang Jinchen went out to go to the bathroom, unexpectedly saw the light still on in the study. Yang Jinchen was worried all night. An inexplicable guilt made him always want to know what Yang Zhao was doing. He didn't go to the bathroom, but tiptoed to the study and pushed the door slightly open to look inside. Yang Zhao's desk was facing the door, and Yang Jinchen saw Yang Zhao, who was lying on the table, at a glance. He saw her asleep, so he pushed the door and walked into the room. He went to the desk, dared not breathe, held his breath, and took a peek at the desk. He was stunned at the sight. He was too familiar with the stuff on the desk. At Yang Zhao's request, he had brought all the school's test papers back home. He didn't care, they were basically blank anyway. These papers were piled up into 3 stacks on the desk, and Yang Zhao was lying in 2 of them, asleep. Yang Jinchen didn't touch the papers, but he could see the densely packed words on them. Yang Zhao had good handwriting, the regular script was square and neat. Yang Jinchen rarely saw her write in cursive, and the words on the papers were as neat as those in a copybook. Yang Zhao's arm was pressing a test paper, and Yang Jinchen saw the corner that was revealed. He recognized that it was his math paper from the last stage test. He ran away halfway through that exam. He still remembered the feeling at that time. He was holding the test paper, flipping through it back and forth, and there were not many questions he could answer. He looked up. There was a large electronic timer hanging next to the blackboard displaying the countdown to the college entrance examination. With time slowly passing, his heart became colder and colder. This feeling was like slowly sliding down a cliff, waiting for death. He couldn't be like Liu Yuan, sleeping defiantly in class. According to Liu Yuan's grades, it was impossible for him to get into the experimental high school. He entered through the teacher's relative. His mother is a teacher in the academic affairs office of the experimental school. Yang Jinchen endured for an hour, but finally couldn't stand it anymore. He lied about going to the bathroom and snuck out of the exam room. At this moment, Yang Zhao was leaning on that math paper. The test paper had already been corrected, and it was full of knowledge points written with red and blue pens. Yang Jinchen took another look at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao was sleeping soundly. Her hair was spread out, blocking the front of her face, very quiet. Yang Jinchen's heart was so sour that he almost shed tears. Afraid of waking Yang Zhao, he covered his mouth and left the study. Yang Zhao woke up once in the early morning. Her arm was numb and she couldn't move. It took her a while to be able to stand up. Glancing at the clock, it was already 4 o'clock. Yang Zhao felt that there was no need to sleep anymore. She went to the bathroom to wash her face, then returned to the bedroom, changed her clothes, and sat on the bed smoking. The curtains were not pulled. She was looking at the outside, pitch black night. Her mind was blank. The night was deep, and the smoke circled up slowly. Yang Zhao was quietly waiting for the sunrise. The next day, Yang Zhao took Yang Jinchen to school. The car was quiet. Yang Jinchen sat in the back seat, always staring at the front seat. When getting out of the car, Yang Jinchen looked at Yang Zhao with the support of the car door. Yang Zhao asked him, "What's wrong?" Yang Jinchen understood that she wouldn't ask anything, wouldn't say anything. He said to Yang Zhao, "Sis, I'm going to school." Yang Zhao nodded, still with that flat expression. "Okay." Yang Jinchen closed the car door and walked into the campus. Yang Zhao watched Yang Jinchen's figure disappear into the crowd from the car before driving away. Yang Zhao stayed up too late last night and felt her head was a bit heavy. Halfway through her drive, she made a turn and headed in another direction. An hour later, Yang Zhao arrived downstairs at Chen Mingsheng's house. Chen Mingsheng's community is old. There is no doorman or roadblock, and cars can come in freely. Yang Zhao parked her car next to the unit where Chen Mingsheng lives and took out her phone to take a look. No text messages, no missed calls. It's only 8:30 now. He should have gone to work already, Yang Zhao thought. She didn't call Chen Mingsheng. She felt that Chen Mingsheng had not worked properly since he got to know her. Yang Zhao took the car key out and opened the car door, intending to take a walk. This yard was quite different from where she lived. The residents in Huakenjin-zuo are always in a hurry. They would not gather in the yard. Yang Zhao came to a chess stall, where 2 old men were playing chess. The chessboard was an old pile of wood, with Chu River and Han border painted on it. 2 or 3 onlookers were standing around the chess stall, chatting about the situation happily. Yang Zhao made a circle and spotted the cat from last time under a wooden fence. It was still in the same lifeless state, lying on the ground. Perhaps sensing that someone is coming, it twisted a bit. Yang Zhao didn't know if it had opened its eyes to take a look at her anyway. After it twisted once, it didn't move anymore. Yang Zhao squatted next to it for a while, feeling tired herself. She took out her phone again. Only 20 minutes have passed. Yang Zhao returned to the car, lay down on the back seat to rest. Sleeping in the car was not very comfortable, and every time Yang Zhao felt like she could fall asleep, a group of playful children would come running around the car. It was hard enough to get slightly used to it when she was in a light sleep, a crisp voice came, "Checkmate." Ha ha. She took a deep breath and got up from the seat. She pulled out her phone and sent a message to Chen Mingsheng. "Chen Mingsheng, this is Yang Zhao." The message was quickly replied. What's up?" Yang Zhao hesitated for a moment. Finally unable to bear the headache, she typed, "Where are you?" Chen Mingsheng replied, "At home." She made a call. "Hello? Are you at home?" Chen Mingsheng uttered a sound of affirmation, to which Yang Zhao asked, "Aren't you working today?" "I worked the night shift last night." Yang Zhao silently pinched her forehead. Chen Mingsheng continued, "Have you finished dropping off your younger brother?" "Yes." Chen Mingsheng then said, "I'll pick you up later then." "No need." Yang Zhao reached forward, grabbed her bag from the front seat and said, "I've come to see you." Upon climbing up the stairs, she found Chen Mingsheng already waiting for her at the door. He was clad in a thin black vest and gray cotton pants. Chen Mingsheng welcomed Yang Zhao into his apartment, asking, "What brings you here by yourself?" Yang Zhao responded, "I headed here right after dropping off Zhao Yan." Chen Mingsheng, calculating the time, questioned, "So you've been here for a while now?" "Yeah." "Why didn't you call me?" "I didn't want to disturb you at work," Yang Zhao replied. Chen Mingsheng laughed. "Next time, just call me directly when you want to see me." Yang Zhao visited Chen Mingsheng's home for the second time. He ushered her into the bedroom while he went to fetch some hot water for her. Yang Zhao took the cup with both hands and took a sip. Today, she donned a gray cashmere sweater, her clean face tilted upwards as she tied back her hair. Chen Mingsheng watched her and lightly ran his fingers through her hair. Yang Zhao could feel the dry palm on her neck. Unconsciously, she receded her neck back, then lowered her head. Just when her stomach let out a soft growl, the sound was crystal clear in the quiet room. Yang Zhao's face instantly turned crimson. Chen Mingsheng didn't react much. He looked at Yang Zhao and asked, "Haven't you eaten yet?" Yang Zhao nodded. "No." "What would you like to eat? I can cook something for you." "What do you have?" Chen Mingsheng asked. "What do you want to eat?" Yang Zhao answered, "Noodles." Chen Mingsheng laughed. "Why do you always want to eat noodles?" He hobbled on his crutch and headed outside the room, with Yang Zhao trailing behind him with her cup. The kitchen in Chen Mingsheng's house was pitifully small and compact for two people. Chen Mingsheng suggested to Yang Zhao, "Why don't you wait in the room? I can bring the food to you once I'm done." Yang Zhao looked at him and asked, "Am I bothering you here?" Chen Mingsheng shook his head. "No." "Then I'll stay here," Yang Zhao responded. Chen Mingsheng took out some noodles from a small wooden cabinet and put them aside. He then fetched a small pot, filled it with water, and started to heat it up. Chen Mingsheng turned to Yang Zhao and said, "Could you get me a tomato?" Following his gesture, Yang Zhao picked up 2 tomatoes from a bamboo basket in the corner of the kitchen. Chen Mingsheng left his crutch aside and stood on one leg. He bounced once, assisted by the edge of the sink. He washed the tomatoes under the tap and worked in silence under the sunlight peeking in from the balcony. Yang Zhao watched him. Her tired eyes thought that his silhouette was so soft and gentle that it made her want to embrace him. She walked quietly to him and gently wrapped her arms around him from behind. Chen Mingsheng steadied himself against the sink, balancing himself before laughing softly. "Aren't you feeling cramped?" Yang Zhao didn't respond. Instead, she rested her head against the back of his vest and shook her head. Chen Mingsheng continued washing the vegetables. Yang Zhao saw a pile of potatoes and kidney beans in the corner. She looked at the bamboo basket they were in, as if entranced. Chen Mingsheng turned off the tap and said, "Done washing." Yang Zhao remained motionless. Chen Mingsheng straightened up, noticing a head resting against his back. "How am I supposed to cook if you don't move?" Yang Zhao slowly raised her head. Chen Mingsheng turned around, and she was standing right behind him. They were very close to each other. Yang Zhao looked down at the leg of Chen Mingsheng's trousers that he had rolled up. She reached out and gently touched it. Chen Mingsheng's leg twitched slightly, and he asked, "What's wrong?" Yang Zhao's hand was exactly over his amputated limb, which felt quite odd. His leg often felt numb due to serious injuries in the past, but now, despite a layer of trousers and skin, Chen Mingsheng could still feel the soft yet firm touch and the warm temperature from Yang Zhao's palm. It was a tender touch loaded with meaning. He slightly stepped back. Yang Zhao let go of his leg and looked up at him. She said to Chen Mingsheng, "Let's make some noodles." After that, she turned around to give him some space. Just as she turned around, she was pulled back with a strong force. Chen Mingsheng held 2 tomatoes in one hand and pulled Yang Zhao closer with the other. He tilted her chin up and leaned down to kiss her. Chen Mingsheng's kiss, just like this yard and this house, carried a comforting and familiar presence. Yang Zhao could smell his scent, a refreshing soap smell mixed with the warm body heat engulfing her, different from Zhu Miao's everlasting perfume. Feeling as if she was part of the backlit silhouette she had just seen, Chen Mingsheng released Yang Zhao from the kiss not long after, looked down at her and said, "It's too cramped here. Why don't you wait inside, and I will bring it out when it's ready?" Yang Zhao nodded, turned around, and walked out of the kitchen. The water had been brought to a boil. Chen Mingsheng put the noodles into the pot, cut a cucumber, and added it along with the cut tomatoes. After adding the seasoning, Chen Mingsheng stood in front of the pot, quietly observing the flame below it. After a while, the noodles were ready. Chen Mingsheng turned off the stove, scooped the noodles into a bowl, then leaned onto his crutch. By the time he picked up the bowl, it was already a bit hot. Chen Mingsheng could only rely on his crutch with one hand and carry the bowl with the other. He couldn't walk too quickly, for the soup would spill. He put the bowl of noodles on the table and rubbed his fingertips involuntarily as it was reddened by the heated bowl. Right when he looked up, he saw Yang Zhao sleeping on the bed. He paused, then walked over to the bedside. Yang Zhao had fallen asleep, lying on her side on the bed. Chen Mingsheng stood up, closed the curtains, and it dimmed the room. He then turned around and saw her face irradiated with a soft yellow glow, peaceful and tender. Chen Mingsheng sat next to the bed, watching her for a long while. When Yang Zhao woke up, it was already nearing dusk. Opening her eyes slightly, she was somewhat disoriented. Before she got up, she noticed there was someone else on the bed. Chen Mingsheng. Yang Zhao turned around, only to see half of his body. Chen Mingsheng was holding her from behind, and she could slightly feel his breath on her head. "Chen Mingsheng?" She called out his name again. Chen Mingsheng politely responded. Gradually waking up from the sleep, his voice carried in lazy undertone. He adjusted his position and held Yang Zhao even tighter. Yang Zhao was held in his embrace, her back pressing closely against Chen Mingsheng's chest. The room was somewhat dim, and looking through the window, she noticed the twilight seeping through the gaps between the curtains, forming a clear light streak. Following the trail of the light, she noticed the corner of the room stacked with 4 to 5 dumbbells and a pile of weight plates in different sizes. Yang Zhao asked, "Chen Mingsheng, do you work out?" Chen Mingsheng replied with his eyes closed, "No." Yang Zhao inquired, "Then what are those for?" Chen Mingsheng finally opened his eyes, seeing the dumbbells in the corner. He closed his eyes again to rest, said lazily, "They are just for fun. I have made it a habit." Yang Zhao lifted her head. Chen Mingsheng slid his arm underneath. She rested on it. She asked him, "Is your arm numb?" Chen Mingsheng chuckled, "No, it's not." When he laughed, Yang Zhao felt a gentle tremor in her back, echoing in his chest. Yang Zhao turned around, lying face to face with Chen Mingsheng. Chen Mingsheng was quite tall, longer in both upper and lower body than Yang Zhao, enveloping her completely. In a low voice, Yang Zhao said, "I'm sorry, I stayed up late last night, so I'm a bit tired today." Chen Mingsheng replied, "Me too." Yang Zhao said, "I need to set an alarm." Chen Mingsheng queried, "What time do you want to wake up?" "At 8 in the evening, I have to pick up Zhao Tian." With his eyes closed, Chen Mingsheng softly said, "Go to sleep, I will wake you up when it's time." Yang Zhao is usually a very rule-bound person, but this time, upon hearing Chen Mingsheng's words, she really closed her eyes and fell asleep without any worry. This time, she woke up after only a short nap. When she woke up, she found herself nestled in a different position in Chen Mingsheng's arms. It seemed that Chen Mingsheng had woken up earlier than her. He was leaning against the head of the bed, with Yang Zhao beside him, his arm around her shoulder. Feeling her stir, Chen Mingsheng noticed, "Awake now?" Yang Zhao lifted her head, looking at Chen Mingsheng. "What time is it?" 20 past 6 in the evening. Perhaps from sleeping too much, Yang Zhao felt a headache. She massaged her forehead and softly asked, "Do you have cigarettes?" Chen Mingsheng reached for a pack of cigarettes from the bedside and handed it to her. She took out a cigarette from the box, which also held a lighter, and lit it. Chen Mingsheng suggested, "You can sleep a little longer." Yang Zhao shook her head, sat up and said, "No need." She turned around, and Chen Mingsheng was leaning against the headboard, looking at her. His arm under her pillow was somewhat red. After watching for a moment, Yang Zhao got out of bed and put on her shoes. I'm going to the bathroom. Chen Mingsheng's bathroom was also miserably small, but at least it was clean. A box of soap was placed on the sink. Young Zhao glanced at it, noticing a bar of soap and a detergent bar. Looking at the mirror above the sink, she found herself looking haggard, with slight dark circles under her eyes reflecting the cold white light of the bathroom. Wanting to freshen up, she turned on the tap only to realize the water temperature could not be adjusted. She splashed the cold water lightly onto her face, immediately feeling a lot fresher. As Yang Zhao returned to the room, Chen Mingsheng was sitting up in bed. She saw a bowl of noodles on the table, now completely cold. Yang Zhao apologized, sorry for making you cook in vain. It's fine, Chen Mingsheng glanced at Yang Zhao and said, you must still be hungry though. Upon waking, Yang Zhao hadn't felt hungry, but now that she had moved around, the hunger pangs hit her. If Chen Mingsheng hadn't been around, she would have eaten the noodles on the table, though they had already become mushy. Yang Zhao nodded, a bit. We don't really have much at home, why don't we go eat outside? That would be quicker, Chen Mingsheng suggested. Sure, agreed Yang Zhao. I'll be a moment while I change, said Chen Mingsheng. As Chen Mingsheng removed his vest and bent down to rummage through a box of clothes, Yang Zhao noticed something. She asked, how come you have so many scars? Chen Mingsheng hadn't found his clothes yet, but hearing Yang Zhao's words, he stood up and looked at himself. He did indeed have a few scars, with the most obvious being on his abdomen, running from the ribs all the way to the belly, revealing clear sutures. Yang Zhao asked, did you have surgery? Chen Mingsheng fell silent, then nodded, yes I did. Were you sick? Yang Zhao asked. Chen Mingsheng casually answered. He bent over to find some clothes, pulling out a white short-sleeved shirt. When he looked up, Yang Zhao was already in front of him. She said, don't move yet. Chen Mingsheng sat on the bed, still, what's wrong? Yang Zhao extended a finger, pushed Chen Mingsheng's shoulder a little. Chen Mingsheng leaned back in response, allowing Yang Zhao to see more clearly. There was a long winding scar, now healed but still marked with a shallow black line. Yang Zhao stared at it for a while, then straightened up and looked at Chen Mingsheng. Seeing her signature expression, Chen Mingsheng sensed trouble. Indeed, Yang Zhao glanced at him blandly and said, Chen Mingsheng, what disease needs a cut in this location? Chen Mingsheng paused before suggestively asking, appendicitis. Yang Zhao scoffed, does appendicitis require such a long incision? Did the doctor take out your intestines, by the way? Yang Zhao silently stared at Chen Mingsheng. Standing while Chen Mingsheng sat, any way one looked at it, it seemed she was looking down on him. In the silence, Yang Zhao noticed his bare upper body. From her angle, she could see Chen Mingsheng's shoulders directly. His shoulders were broad, his chest firm, with a pleasing slope where the deltoids meet the collarbone. His back was a little curved. Yang Zhao's eyes dropped fleetingly. Chen Mingsheng was not skinny, but his belly was sunken when he sat. Yang Zhao was reminded of her anatomy classes when she was studying in Russia. Because detailed understanding of muscle composition was required, the body models for the class were strictly selected. The guest professor, a middle-aged woman, had her unique standard for the model's body shape. Yang Zhao remembered one criterion was when a male model sat down, they should have a slightly curved abdomen, indicating that the model is well exercised with no extra fat. Chen Mingsheng did not receive professional training and only exercised in his leisure time. His curvature was not as prominent as the model's, but it had an appealing natural aesthetic. In this narrow time, Yang Zhao's mind whirled. What in a man attracts women the most? Money, power, intellect. These are the most direct aphrodisiacs. Because these represent strength, dominance, and influence in today's society. But if you take society out of the equation, going back to the early times, the very beginning, how did males attract females? Chen Mingsheng broke the silence. It's an old injury. Yang Zhao's thoughts were interrupted, and she refocused on Chen Mingsheng's face. What injury? And Chen Mingsheng said, knife wound. Yang Zhao repeated, word for word, knife wound. Chen Mingsheng reached for the cigarette box by his side, took out a cigarette and said, yeah. Yang Zhao silently stared at Chen Mingsheng, who lifted his head amidst a faint smoke, managed a resigned smile, and asked, why are you staring at me like that? After some thought, Yang Zhao looked solemnly at Chen Mingsheng and asked, Chen Mingsheng, are you a gangster? Yang Zhao's gaze was intent, and Chen Mingsheng realized she wasn't joking. He replied, I'm not a gangster. Yang Zhao continued, were you a hooligan before? Chen Mingsheng lowered his head slightly, seemingly looking at the cigarette in his hand. Yang Zhao pressed, were you? Chen Mingsheng slowly shook his head and said quietly, I'm not a hooligan. Yang Zhao continued, then why do you have such a scar? Was it an accident? Chen Mingsheng became silent again for a while. He raised his head, and Yang Zhao looked into his jet black eyes, suddenly feeling a little reluctant to ask further. If you have a secret you can't tell, I won't ask, she said. Chen Mingsheng took a puff of a cigarette and whispered, it's nothing much, just ran into a little trouble. Chen Mingsheng hung his head low, and Yang Zhao couldn't see his expression. Silence was inevitable. Chen Mingsheng, Yang Zhao took a few steps back and said lightly, you're keeping something from me. Chen Mingsheng hesitated but didn't say anything. Yang Zhao freed her held arms and said, let's go. Chen Mingsheng raised his head. Yang Zhao tidied up her handbag and told Chen Mingsheng, hurry up and get dressed. Chen Mingsheng was slightly startled. Go? Where? To eat, weren't we just talking about it? Chen Mingsheng oed and pulled on the clothes in his hands over his head. He took one look at Yang Zhao's face, noticed no change. It didn't seem like she was angry. She was considerate, she didn't probe further. After Chen Mingsheng dressed, he reached for his crutch. His prosthetic leg stood next to the crutch. He hesitated looking at it. Don't wear it, Yang Zhao was already packed and waiting for him at the bedroom door. The prosthetic leg is too inconvenient. Chen Mingsheng nodded, got up with the crutch, pulled up the leg of his right pants, folded it twice, and tucked it in his back. Yang Zhao watched him do it adroitly, watched the pants leg go from long to short, from loose to accentuating the curve of his residual limb. Something in her chest stuttered. Yang Zhao averted her eyes elsewhere. Let's go. Chen Mingsheng gathered his clothes as Yang Zhao followed him out of the door. For convenience, Chen Mingsheng wore slippers. His feet were long, and the veins on the back of his foot were visible. Downstairs, Chen Mingsheng asked Yang Zhao, what do you want to eat? Anything is fine, she said, and added after, has to be fast though. Do you want to drive? Chen Mingsheng asked. I don't want to. Is there something closer? Yang Zhao responded. The places nearby are all roadside stands. Can you eat there? Sure. Chen Mingsheng led Yang Zhao out of the yard, not toward the main road, but detoured into a small street. Both sides of the street were small shops, barbers, shoe polishes, and some snack stalls. There were many people on the street. Chen Mingsheng was noticed by many people due to his missing leg. There were also some hushed whispers. He sensed it, looked slightly worried at Yang Zhao beside him, only to find her walking behind him, eyes focused on the path ahead. Chen Mingsheng and Yang Zhao found a seafood roadside stand and ordered a charcoal grill set meal. The set meal was 150 yuans. Yang Zhao ate a crab and also tried some clams and octopuses, but she became full rather quickly. I can't eat anymore, Yang Zhao said. Is this all you eat in a day? Asked Chen Mingsheng. Yang Zhao gestured towards the crab on the table. This crab is quite big. The final portion was eaten 70-30 by the two. Yang Zhao checked the time, said, let's go back, I need to pick up my brother. The sun had set, street lamps lighted up the street. Yang Zhao and Chen Mingsheng walked back along the road. Yang Zhao watched the shadow on the ground, stretching long under the street lamp, then shortening, then stretching long again. Back in the yard, the chess stall hadn't closed yet, it was just a switch of people. Yang Zhao and Chen Mingsheng passed the chess stall and came to the entrance of their building. When it was time to leave, Yang Zhao's phone rang. Yang Zhao saw the name on the caller ID and immediately adopted a serious expression. Chen Mingsheng did not leave, standing next to her, watching her. Yang Zhao answered her phone. Hello, teacher son? Yes, what's up? What? Why, is there a reason? Okay, I'll be right there, thank you. After hanging up, Chen Mingsheng saw Yang Zhao subconsciously pinch her brows. Chen Mingsheng asked, your brother? Without raising her head, Yang Zhao said, Chen Mingsheng gave a short laugh. Your brother is quite a handful, isn't he? Yang Zhao looked up at him, and Chen Mingsheng suddenly coughed, his laugh dying immediately. What happened? He asked. Yang Zhao replied, his homeroom teacher said he got into a fight at school. Chen Mingsheng asked, so they called you? Yang Zhao became silent for a while, seemingly lost in thought. Chen Mingsheng lit a cigarette. Did he get hurt? Boys getting into fights is pretty common. Chen Mingsheng, I think. Yang Zhao suddenly turned her head, looking at Chen Mingsheng seriously. Chen Mingsheng blinked, feeling that he might have been too indifferent, so he quickly added, don't be too upset, I'll go with you. Yang Zhao's gaze remained unaltered as she squinted slightly. I believe this time the fight Zhao Yan got into may not be like the ones I expect. Chen Mingsheng was puzzled. What do you mean, not the same? Yang Zhao said this time he got into a fight with Liu Yuan's group. Chen Mingsheng paused with the cigarette in his hand. You mean those people at the karaoke the other time? Yang Zhao nodded. You remember? Something sparked in Chen Mingsheng's mind. He gave a small laugh, muttering with a cigarette hanging from his mouth. Of course, I remember. It was them. Holding a cigarette, Chen Mingsheng looked up at Yang Zhao and said, Let's go, I'll accompany you.